Today we're going to create some impressionist style pictures based on the work of artists such as Monet and Van Gogh, and we're going to be using the marbling technique. If you haven't seen this technique, you can learn about how to marble in the other videos that are on the website. And we're going to be playing around with it a bit today. So rather than just creating a random pattern of swirls or creating lines and then thinking about how we might use them, we're actually going to deliberately place our ink to create certain effects. So this is one of the pictures that I've produced previously, and you can see, especially if we turn it that way around, good, it will all show. So you can see that this is like the lily pond that Monet used in his picture, and this idea of flowers on the lily pond. So we're going to take that idea, and this picture here we're going to take and we're going to put some flower stems in to create flowers in a meadow. So by using different backgrounds we can create different ideas, and we're going to play around with that a little bit more today. This is another one using the dark blue paper, and this tends to be one that people particularly like, that you could associate with Monet and the lily pads and the idea of the swirls in the water. So this is how we're going to create some pictures like that. First effect that I want to create is that of the water and the green ripples, the green and blue ripples. So I've mixed up some acrylic paint, it's beginning to separate slightly, with a tiny drop of water, just enough to make it fluid. And I have some dark blue and a lovely sort of, oh, this is a bit of a khaki green and a teal colour. And I also have some pale yellow, which is a really useful colour to bring some light to these areas. And I'm going to drip the paint on, ready to create the ripples. I'm just going to begin with the dark blue and think specifically about where I want it to go, because I don't want it to go everywhere. I just want it to go in certain areas, because then in the other areas I'll be concentrating on the colours that I want for my swirls. That's not an exact science, to say the least, so we have to see how it will go. Let's add some of the green. For my brights, I've got a lovely, this is a lovely, lovely bright magenta colour. And a really bright vermilion red. And I'm just tapping the brush very gently to disperse the colours where I want them to be, and that helps to prevent me getting them everywhere else. And again, just to bring it together, I'm going to put some light, this lovely really pale yellow, over the top of those as well. Now to that I'm going to add some bronze and gold acrylics, and this I'm just, oh, that was a bit more than I intended. I'm just going to squeegee these on. I'm going to use the end of an old brush to paint with, and really what I mean is to mark make with. I'm going to begin with the swirls in between, and I am literally going to swirl them up and down like this. And these I'm going to swirl round and out. I'm going to take the first print onto this lovely sagey green colour, and we'll see. So this might look like Monet's garden or Monet's river with the flowers, or it might look like an impressionist meadow, but I'm hoping that we'll keep all of these lovely swirls. So we'll put that down. Now what I'm going to do is just very gently make sure that all of the sheet is in contact with my foam plate. So when I lift the plate off, I'm just going to rub against the back to help it to adhere to the foam so that I don't end up with gaps in my plate. Because what I don't want are lots of air pockets. So there's my plate, and I'm going to put it away for 3 minutes to set. But I now have all of this lovely, lovely foam that is left, and I want to take a second print because I've still definitely got enough foam on there for a second print. But I am going to add some more ink because I've learnt that will be most effective. Right, so somewhat different to the first one, and I'm also going to paint. I'm going to put this on a different background. I'm going to use a light blue mottled background. I'm pressing so lightly because I don't want to press so hard that I lose the pattern on the card. That would be a great shame. That's my second print. I'm now ready to scrape my first print. So I have a really sturdy piece of card to do this. You could use a squeegee, but I quite like using a good sturdy piece of card. I'm going to put it down really hard at one end, and I'm just going to scrape it in a solid movement down to take the foam off, and this will reveal the print underneath. And here we go. I'm very happy with that. Really happy with that design. You can see how effectively the yellow has worked. What I'm going to do now is put this to one side and let it finish setting, and then with a damp cloth later on I'll be able to wipe off any remaining foam. That's really quite effective on the pale blue if we're looking at a Monet style picture, and it has smudged slightly in places, but I don't actually mind that because with this impressionist style, with the ripples on the water, it would look like the colours were smudging along the water.